Have you ever whispered into your pillow at night, "Ya Allah, when will it be my turn?" You see couples smiling, walking together, praying side by side, and you wonder, where is my person, the one my heart has been waiting for? Let me tell you something you might not realize. Sometimes the reason love hasn't arrived is because Allah is preparing you to receive it the right way. This is not about chasing love. It's about becoming the kind of person that love is guided to by Allah. Before you ask Allah to bring someone into your life, ask yourself why you want them. Do you want marriage just to escape loneliness? To post happy couple photos online? To prove something to your ex, your friends, or your family? If your heart is chasing love more than it's chasing Allah, then you may attract something temporary, something based on ego, not something written in your Qadr. Love in Islam is not about filling a space in your bed. It's about filling a space in your life, with purpose, with partnership, and with the intention to please Allah together. Ask yourself, would I still want this person if we were tested? Would I still love them if there was no money, no status, no beauty, just character and taqwa? Your niyyah is everything. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Actions are judged by intentions, and everyone will get what they intended." Bukhari and Muslim. So if your intention is pure, if you want love to build a family that wakes each other up for Fajr, that comforts each other in sujud, that walks toward Jannah hand in hand, then Allah will honor that sincerity, not always immediately, but in the most beautiful way. Sometimes people rush into love because they're tired of waiting, but the one who waits with sincerity is never left empty by Allah. Purify your intention again and again. Every time you feel impatient, say, "Ya Allah, I want love not just for my desires, but for my deen, my peace, and my akhirah." Because the right love doesn't just make you feel good, it makes you feel closer to Allah. And that's the love worth attracting. Before you look for someone to complete you, look toward the one who already created you whole. Before you try to fall in love with another soul, fall back in love with your Creator. Because here's the truth. If your heart is distant from Allah, no human love will ever feel enough. You'll always feel empty. You'll always feel unsure. You'll confuse attachment with love and heartbreak with destiny. But when your connection with Allah is strong, you become magnetic, not just to people, but to everything written for you. A heart that prays, a heart that cries to Allah in the night, a heart that trusts Him when nothing makes sense, is a heart that attracts mercy, barakah, and love without even chasing it. Ask yourself, when was the last time you sat alone and just spoke to Allah? No filters, no fancy words, just real, raw conversation. That's where healing begins. That's where clarity comes. That's where the right love starts to move toward you. Because when you're connected to Allah, you won't settle for someone who plays with your emotions. You'll be too anchored in your self-worth to beg for crumbs of attention. You'll recognize that true love doesn't pull you away from your deen. It pulls you deeper into it. Fixing your relationship with Allah doesn't mean you're becoming perfect. It just means you're returning to the one who holds your heart. And when your heart is in His hands, only someone meant for you can reach it. So pray more, repent more, reflect more. Let Allah heal what the world broke, and trust this. When you connect to Allah with love, He connects you to the one who loves you for His sake. You're praying for a soulmate, but have you made peace with your scars? You're asking Allah to send someone new, but are you still carrying the wounds of someone old? Listen closely. You cannot plant the seed of a new love in a heart that's still bleeding from the past. If your heart is still broken, it will distort the love that comes next. You will overthink, overreact, mistrust, or push away what is meant to stay. Not because the person is wrong, but because the pain hasn't been healed. Heal before you hope. Sometimes we rush into love because we want to forget someone else. But what we don't realize is, unhealed heartbreak becomes emotional baggage. It follows you, it poisons your trust, and it makes you chase comfort instead of connection. Even the pain you buried deep inside, Allah knows. Even the tears you wiped in secret, Allah saw. Even the nights you questioned if you were ever enough, Allah listened. Healing is not weakness. Healing is worship. Every time you cry to Allah, you're cleaning your heart. Every time you let go of resentment, you're making space for rahmah. Every time you forgive the one who never apologized, you're rising, you're freeing yourself. You're saying, I will not let the past block my Qadr. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam experienced heartbreak. He lost loved ones. He grieved, but he healed with Allah. He taught us how to move forward without bitterness, without revenge. So don't numb your pain. Don't bury it beneath distractions, rebounds, or fake strength. Sit with it. Feel it. Then release it to Allah. Because once your heart is truly healed, you won't just attract love. You'll attract the kind of love that matches your inner peace. And that is the kind of love that lasts. You keep asking Allah for someone kind, someone honest, loyal, patient, someone who will protect your heart and lead you toward Jannah. But pause and reflect. Are you becoming that kind of person too? Because the kind of love you attract is often a reflection of who you are inside. You can't ask for a spouse who prays Fajr in the masjid while you sleep through it without guilt. You can't ask for a partner who is emotionally stable while you haven't yet healed your anger or insecurities. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional, aligning your character with your dua, living in a way that prepares you for the love you're asking for. Ask yourself, do I lower my gaze like I want my spouse to? Do I speak with respect, like I want to be spoken to? Do I carry patience and forgiveness? Or do I hold on to ego and pride? Allah says in the Quran, the good women are for the good men, and the good men are for the good women. Quran 24:26. This isn't just a statement, it's a principle. You attract what you reflect. You pull toward you the energy and the character that you radiate. If you want someone soft-hearted, soften your heart with dhikr. If you want someone loyal, stay loyal to Allah in private. If you want someone emotionally safe, become emotionally safe for yourself first. Because when you build yourself in secret, Allah rewards you in public. He sends someone who sees your light, not your looks, who chooses your soul over your status. This is the beauty of Islam. Your love story begins with your own transformation. You don't chase love, you become it. You don't beg for someone, you rise into someone worth choosing. So before you say, Ya Allah, give me someone amazing, whisper instead, Ya Allah, make me amazing, so I'm ready for what you've written. And then walk your path, because the one written for you will recognize your heart the moment they see it. You've been waiting, haven't you? Watching everyone around you get married, seeing proposals, wedding invitations, couples traveling, smiling, posting, praying together, and silently you whisper to yourself, Ya Allah, what about me? You begin to wonder, did I miss my chance? Am I not good enough? Is something wrong with me? But let me tell you the truth, straight from the core of faith. Allah is never late. He is never careless. He is never silent without reason. Desperation begins when we start measuring time by our watch. But Allah operates on the clock of Qadr, and Qadr doesn't rush when we're impatient. It moves when the soul is ready. You see, sometimes your soulmate is being delayed, not to test your patience, but to protect your peace. Because if Allah gave you what you wanted too soon, maybe it would have become a distraction. Maybe you would have lost your closeness to Him. Maybe that person wasn't ready yet. or you weren't. Desperation makes us chase love, but faith makes us prepare for it. Desperation makes us lower our standards, but tawakkul raises them back to where they belong. Desperation says, anyone will do as long as I'm not alone. But your soul knows, not everyone is meant to sit beside you in your prayer mat. Not everyone can hold your heart with amana, trust. So stop rushing what Allah is still writing. Just because it's delayed doesn't mean it's denied. The pen of Allah doesn't slip, it doesn't forget. Every dua you whispered, every tear you cried, every late night you felt unseen, was counted, was heard, was loved. Look at how Allah works in nature. Rain doesn't fall all year, flowers bloom in seasons. Even the moon disappears, only to return full again. Why do we think our love story should happen instantly? You are not behind, you are not overlooked, you are being prepared. Sometimes Allah hides your soulmate, so you both can meet at the right spiritual moment. Not when you're needy, not when you're broken, but when you're healed, whole, and ready to give, not just take. And when that moment comes, you'll look back and say, Ya Allah, thank you for not giving me what I wanted when I wasn't ready. So let go of the timeline, let go of the panic, let go of the what-ifs, and say with calm conviction, Ya Allah, I trust that what's written for me is already on its way, in your perfect time, not mine. Because the one who trusts Allah's delay will witness the most beautiful arrival. Dua is not desperation, it's certainty. Stop making dua like you're unsure if Allah is listening. Start making dua like you know He already heard you, because He did. And He's preparing something better than you imagined. Before your lips whispered, Ya Allah, grant me someone who brings peace to my heart, Allah already knew. He saw that moment. He wrote it. And He's not ignoring it, He's crafting it. You may not see it, but every sincere Ameen is a spiritual thread tying your soul to what is destined. The rope may feel invisible now, but one day it will pull your Qadr into your life, effortlessly. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, your dua will be answered, unless you are hasty and say, I made dua, but I was not answered. Bukhari. That moment you say, maybe it won't happen for me. You're cutting the very rope your hope was hanging on. Keep believing, even when you feel tired. Dua is not just about getting something, it's an act of ibadah. When you raise your hands, Allah loves that surrender. Even if the answer hasn't come, your soul is being lifted. The nights you cried in sujud, the days you smiled while still waiting, these are not wasted moments. They're proof on your scale. Your tears are receipts of your trust in Allah. Maybe your soulmate is making dua for you right now, but both of your souls are still growing. Allah is aligning your paths, removing obstacles, healing both of your hearts before He allows them to meet. Be specific in your dua. Ask for someone who makes you better in deen, in character, in heart. But once you ask, let go. Don't try to force it. Let Allah surprise you, because His plan is more beautiful than your imagination. Even the small duas you whispered while walking, even the one you didn't finish because your voice cracked, He appreciated it, He cherished it, He stores it, and responds in His way at the perfect time. The most powerful attraction isn't built on looks, status, or money. It's built on dua, on conversations with Allah, on quiet whispers in tahajjud, on Ya Allah, if they're good for me, bring us together with barakah. When love starts in sujud, it's protected by the one who never breaks hearts. So remember this, the more sincere your dua becomes, the more beautiful your Qadr unfolds. Don't ask when, ask with faith, because the one who makes dua with certainty will never be left empty-handed by Allah. In a world driven by appearances, filters, and first impressions, it's so easy to fall for what's on the outside. The smile, the confidence, the style, the charm. We're taught, from movies, culture, and social media, that how someone looks is just as important as who they are inside. But Allah teaches us something radically different. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Allah does not look at your outward appearance or your wealth, but He looks at your hearts and your deeds. Sahih Muslim. That means, while you're checking their profile picture, Allah is checking their character. While you're looking at their face, Allah is looking at their intentions. While you're impressed by their words, Allah is examining their actions, especially in private. Don't be fooled by someone who looks religious but treats others harshly. Don't be swept away by someone who speaks softly but lies behind your back. Don't assume someone is pious because of their beard or hijab alone. Real piety is not always visible. It's consistent, it's humble, it's sincere. Some of the kindest, most God-conscious people are quiet. They don't advertise their piety. They don't post Quran quotes for likes. They don't try to impress anyone, only Allah. If you choose someone only because of beauty, charm, or status, you risk waking up one day feeling emotionally alone, even when you're physically beside them. Why? Because connection based on looks fades, but connection based on values, character, and taqwa only deepens. What's the point of being with someone who's attractive, but emotionally unavailable? Who's popular, but spiritually empty? Who looks good in public, but wounds you in private? Train your soul to see beyond the face. Look into how they speak about others, how they treat their parents, how they handle anger, how they respond when you set boundaries. That's what reveals who they really are, because one day, beauty will fade. The looks that once amazed you will become normal, but how they treat you with gentleness, trust, and mercy, that's what makes a love story last. What does the Quran say? Allah says in the Quran, "Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the one with the most taqwa, God consciousness." Surah Al-Hujurat 49:13. Not the most beautiful, not the wealthiest, not the most famous, but the most spiritually aware, the one who fears hurting others because they fear displeasing Allah. That's the kind of person worth marrying. That's the kind of heart worth trusting. So next time you feel drawn to someone's appearance, ask yourself, do they remind me of Allah or distract me from Him? Do I admire their faith or just their face? Would I still want them if all their beauty faded tomorrow? Because real beauty doesn't glow from the skin, it shines from the soul. And when you stop looking with your eyes and start seeing with your iman, that's when you'll recognize the person Allah wrote for your heart, not your ego. You say you want someone good for your soul, but you keep choosing people who feel familiar to your pain. You pray for peace, but your heart is still chasing chaos. You ask Allah for someone honest, but your heart gets pulled to people who leave you guessing. Why? Because sometimes your type is not your destiny, it's your pattern. Many people confuse comfort with compatibility. You feel drawn to someone because they remind you of someone from your past, a parent, a past relationship, an emotional wound you never healed. You're not in love, you're addicted to what feels familiar, even if it hurts. That's how people end up in cycle after cycle, being ghosted, being emotionally neglected, being tested instead of cherished, all because they're chasing a type, not what Allah wrote for their soul. Your type might be based on ego, not faith. You might be attracted to people who validate your insecurities, not your identity. To those who give you temporary highs, not lasting peace. You might be looking for someone who makes you feel wanted, but not someone who makes you feel safe. There's a difference. The heart that is still healing often confuses chemistry with Qadr. But Allah sends souls to stabilize you, not to recreate your trauma. Do I keep falling for people who excite me, but don't respect me? Do I confuse tension and drama with passion? Am I chasing my ideal or blocking Allah's better plan? Because sometimes the person Allah sends isn't your type, but they're the one your soul needs. You might have a long list: tall, fair, confident, ambitious, extroverted, put together. But the person Allah sends may look nothing like that. Yet they'll bring you a kind of love that softens your heart, makes your iman grow, and feels like home in a way you've never experienced. Because real love doesn't always look like what you imagined. It looks like what Allah knows is best for your akhirah. There's nothing wrong with having preferences, but don't let your preferences blind you to your purpose. Don't say no to someone Allah is guiding your way just because they don't fit your type. Say yes if their presence brings you closer to Him. Ask yourself, do they have the character to love with adab? Do they have the humility to grow through hardship? Do they pray for me in private, not just pursue me in public? Because that is the love that builds Jannah. If your type keeps leading you to heartbreak, then maybe it's time to let your Qadr choose for you, not your patterns. And if you truly want someone who fits your soul, not your ego, raise your hands and say, Ya Allah, don't give me what I want, give me what I need, even if I don't see it right away. Because what's meant for your soul may look different, but it will feel like divine peace. Not every connection is from Allah. Some are tests, some are traps, some are whispers from Shaitan dressed as love. And that's why you must be careful, because not everyone who makes your heart race is meant to walk with you toward Jannah. When being with them makes you delay salah, hide the relationship, lie to your parents, compromise your boundaries, that's not love, that's fitna, a test. Real love, the kind that comes from Allah, doesn't pull you away from Him, it pulls you toward Him. If being around them makes you more mindful of Allah, if it inspires you to pray more, if it softens your speech, purifies your eyes, protects your tongue, then that is love infused with worship. That is the type of connection Allah places barakah, blessing, in. Because when two hearts remember Allah together, He fills their path with light. You don't need to be in secret chats at 2 a.m. You don't need to constantly prove your worth. You don't need to keep crossing red lines just to feel seen. If someone truly loves you for the sake of Allah, they will not be okay leading you towards sin. They will protect your modesty, your dignity, your soul, even if that means walking away until it's halal. That's not weakness, that's taqwa. Some people love you in public, but forget you in private. Others never say much, but mention your name in sujood, asking Allah to bring you together in the right time, the right way. That's the person who will hold your hand in dunya and your heart in akhirah. Because the love that begins in worship will end in Jannah. Do I feel spiritually closer to Allah because of this connection, or more distant? Do I feel guilty after interacting with them, or more grateful to Allah? Are they helping me guard my soul, or slowly leading it astray? Because who you love can either carry your soul upward, or become the reason you fall. When the foundation is built on deen, trust and tawakkul, no storm can shake it, no test can break it, no temptation can steal it. It's not just about halal love. It's about a love that helps you meet Allah with a clean heart. If someone only loves your body, they'll leave when it fades. If someone only loves your mind, they'll leave when you change. But if someone loves your soul for the sake of Allah, they'll stay when it's hard. They'll pray with you through pain. They'll protect your honor even behind your back. That is the love that feels like worship. That is the love worth waiting for. At the end of it all, You're not just waiting for a person. You're not just hoping for marriage. You're longing for a soul that speaks your language, not in words, but in worship. You want a love that doesn't just hold your hand, but holds your heart with amana, trust. You want someone who doesn't just desire you in dunya, but walks beside you toward akhirah. And here's the truth that brings peace to every restless heart. You don't need to chase love. You don't need to beg for attention. You don't need to lower your standards to feel worthy. Because the one Allah wrote for you is being prepared just like you are. Their heart is being softened. Their path is being guided. Their soul is being purified, just like yours. So don't panic when it's taking time. Don't fear that it won't happen. Don't let delay make you doubt your worth. Because when your heart is ready and your soul is steady and your faith is firm, love will arrive, not rushed, not forced, not hidden, but blessed, peaceful, open, halal. The kind of love that was written before you were even born, and the kind that brings you closer to the one who created your heart in the first place. So raise your hands tonight and say, Ya Allah, I will not chase love, I will chase you. And I trust that when the time is right, the one you wrote for me will find me. With no confusion, no delay, no mistake, only divine mercy. Ameen.